And it's like I mean, you saw how much I beat the crap out of him. I was actually and it was like I'm not going to be at the mercy of this mini Vosh like in the doghouse. It's like I'm not trying to go nuclear. I'm not trying to be at his mercy. Like I'm not trying to play that game again where I risk actually getting arrested for this of
Yeah,
like just snapping, you know?
no doubt. Like, and I don't know. That was just it was funny to me, like people's reaction to that, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, like TJ kicked his ass," and it was like it was evident that you were dominating that
TJ
fight,
didn't do
right?
anything.
Yeah,
He
I
didn't even
know.
want to punch you when you were like
He cried
gassed.
like a woman afterwards, and now his
Yeah,
ribs.
yeah,
So who won?
yeah,
Who's
exactly.
next? You
I mean,
decide.
like there could obviously be the argument made that it wasn't like, you know, boxing. I mean, like
Oh yeah, but at the
you
same
didn't.
time, like you see me take Sam aside and say, listen, do not have this fight. If we have this fight, I am not going to play by boxing rules at all.
You don't want to do this. I'm not going to play by the rules. You know why? I know why. And like again, it's like if it's just going to be this again, I'm out. It's because like I can't play it anymore. Right?
You
I'm
lost
sorry.
me.
You know what I'm talking about, man. It's like if you really want me to do this, I said I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to be playing by the boxing rules. I'm not going to be playing by that rule at all. And it's like, look, if it's just going to be back to like let's rile up Jimmy some more, then I'm out because it's like I don't feel like going through that.
TJ's beefing with you. It's part of the game show rules.
Part of the game show rules was also like, oh yeah, we want you in room one. And again, it's like, I'm not doing this because it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pretty. I'm not playing by the boxing rules. I hope you can catch my drift. And I think you know why.
That sounds good.
And it's like, I'm sorry, but it's like, again, like, I get it. I'm not contesting no more.
Yep.
You guys did do me a big favor, but it's like, look, like, again, if it continues, then like, I'm serious. Like, I will.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go with whatever rules you want to go with, okay?
I just don't even want to go with any rules. I just want to just lay down and relax because like the whole thing was just a headache. And it's like,
Well, we just got a quick beef to deal with, and then we'll be able to lay down and relax. Okay? So.
And then it's like the rules keep changing, and it's like, yeah, you can go all out. And then I start going all out. Like those chokeholds were real. Those chokeholds, like those were actual chokeholds. It looks like he's just lightly grabbing me, but no, like he's being like serious, like professionally serious, if that makes sense. Not like angry serious.
Hmm.
But yeah, so after that, they were just saying like, look, you're not going to be some king of 4chan, and I just told him like, I don't use 4chan. I really don't. The only time I've ever used 4chan is to help identify Hoarder Man shit, but that's on the automotive or the weapons board, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like I kept explaining to them, and I suspect so there's that girl that came into the Twitter space named Goblina. If you listen back to her apology, she says that yes, she narked on the manifesto, but that she was also the reason why that Tuesday happened. So her and that group are honestly the prime suspects in my book for like who convinced production that like I'm working for vicious 4chan trolls who want to destroy the show and like am hiding weapons in my pocket and
Yeah.
all that other.
I think
Because I mean,
I think
and
just the
again, it's
way
nothing
that
against
they
production, but the whole thing's just
yeah, I think the way that they were building up to that moment where they were suspecting you of having weapons was not only gaslighting you, but also gaslighting chat quite a bit. Because prior to that, like no one, like you said, like on your bad Tuesday or whatever, like no one really had any like nefarious um like vision of you. Like no one was thinking or like talking in chat at least. And I've been there pretty much like, the whole time. Um no one was really talking about you as like a danger to anyone or anything like that. I mean, there was obviously like the blow up with Tayleigh, but that had been like long
yeah.
past and like blown over and like no one was really talking about it anymore. Um but I think they took the opportunity of finding those notes with the coded language and everything and decided to turn it into like a major storyline because to be honest, at that point in the show, um not much was going on and a lot of people were tuning out, right? Um, so they kind of turned on you, in my opinion, like to revamp the show. It's just how I see it as a viewer.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know. That's another case where it's like if you want things to happen, then just bring back like the CD player and just like make it clear it's like, look, don't play like any copyrighted, but like
Or, like,
just go nuts for like a little bit.
I don't know. I feel like they could come up with a lot more bits and stuff too. I feel like after Jimmy left and like a lot of the fans were really vocal about like just like nothing happening on the show and like Jimmy was the content, that I think that's when you started seeing a lot more effort, from production to like actually get the fish to do stuff. Because I mean the first 2 weeks, I mean, what were they doing really, And then like I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
well,
just
honestly, I think
a lot
one
of
of the
sitting around, and like really relying on the freeloaders this season as opposed to last season.
well, I think one of the big issues was two things. Like in the beginning, they had a number of storylines that they tried to start like cultivating, and then like the whole FanTank reveal came out where everyone's like, "Oh, we're all fans and we're all in on the bit," and it kind of killed the momentum that they'd been building in the first 4 or 5 days, like with like the Detective Cole and all that stuff. And then um and it also kind of killed the romance arcs as well. And then I felt like they kind of had to regroup, and then also it was like Christmas, so they were like kind of expecting a viewership slump, and so they didn't want to waste a lot of their good stuff on the viewership slump. And then I feel like with everyone walking at that time as well, like however many people, like 4 people or 5 people left, like in the first like 10 or 12 days, it
Yeah.
kind of just derailed the whole season in a way, like where they had to like do a hard reset like
Well,
around New Year's.
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, and I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I do regret, like, all they had to do, because, I mean, you can, like, go back to the day where you saw me, like, connecting the dots, because after Summer told me about season 1, and it's like, okay, so either they're trying to set me and Summer up to be, like, this power couple, where it's us against, like, the rest of the tank, thinking that, like, we're the only fans there, or everyone's in the tank. And they saw me, you'll see Jet and the others like come up and like ask me why I'm asking people how they would feel if they were called a Simmons. So they knew, and this isn't anything against them, but it's like they could have just brought me down, just been like, okay, listen, you're figuring out way too fast. Yes, like you guys are all fans, but we have all these bits set up, so you need to pretend like you haven't put this together at all.
Yeah.
And I would have been more than happy to go along with it and keep my mouth shut. Like, uh, I'm not one to toot my own horn at all, but Lord knows it wasn't me getting yelled at for not following orders.
Yeah.
Granted, they didn't like the fact about like the production set and whatnot, but at the same time, if I can recall, I was mostly saying that for when I was like requesting that we actually needed in the house and whatnot, and then also getting conflicting messages where it's like you just can't say production says when you're doing a skit. It's like that's fine, but they also like said like it's okay to say production says when you're talking about like things that you guys need, or just someone's like, oh, do you know when they said they'd fix a toilet? And it's like, yeah, production says like I don't know, 3 days, something like that. Like they said that was okay, just no talking about production and skits. And I mean, yeah, and sorry for my ramblings as always. Do feel free to tell me to shut up. This is your interview, by the way.
No worries, man.
Uh,
I just want to let you know I did start recording like about like just like 2 minutes ago. But like
oh,
whatever.
that
If you
was.
don't want me to, if you don't want me
The
to,
recording starts as just me with a schizophrenic ramble, and no one understands the context.
well, I think that's par for the course. And I just wasn't sure like if we were gonna get a clean like intro, so
No,
I was just
I
like, what, I'll
understand,
just
man.
turn it on. um, so I'm sorry, I forgot your friend's name.
Dillon.
Dillon?
He is the man behind the video on my YouTube channel. He's part of the the Manifesto group. Uh, they're originally called something else. I can't remember. I couldn't remember like what I was supposed to call them. Uh, but yeah,
I haven't.
the employer's bit is what I came up with on my own because, well, I'll explain that later. But I had planned that phone skit long before I came onto the show, but with like an actual phone from Hoarder Man's, but they nerfed me. They didn't let me bring the Hoarder Man mountain of stuff that I wanted to for shenanigans. They saw my potential and were scared.
Yeah, I mean, Hoarder Man was one of those things that it started out like people being like, "What is this guy talking about?" And it became one of like, the beloved bits of the show in a way. Um, Especially like with the whole arc of like, you know, the way you would describe him in such detail to like everyone in the house, and then to like the penultimate when like Trisha smashed Hoarder Man's ashtray, and it was just like when that happened, like, dude, you should have seen chat. Like everyone was like, "Holy, this is gonna be next level." And I mean, they weren't wrong, but um, yeah, I mean, like Hoarder Man like deserves his own like Wikipedia page or something at this point.
He's a very interesting and wonderful man, and I just have to get the property to the point where it can't be condemned. And of course, there's the issue with doxing him accidentally or doxing his house. I just want to make sure that him and his wife and like their personal close circle are like all set up to be like, don't talk to strangers on the internet. Like, keep your walls up. You can send people through me and the crew, and like we'll make sure that they're legit. But yeah, once I get that fixed up to where no one can condemn it and just rob him blind, or like, file false police reports and get him swatted or, God forbid, killed or some shit, that's when I'd be able to fully reveal who he is, because he is a wonderful man, and he has a very, very interesting backstory. Like, really intricate. Him and his wife, despite their condition, they still drive all around the area delivering food boxes to the homeless people and dropping off camping supplies to the newly homeless. They've even given me food. Like I had to pay $2,700 to prepay all my bills before I got onto the show or some shit like that. So I was on like a massive shoestring budget. That's why like the lack of food didn't really bother me too much because I was like, I'm used to this.
Yeah, you seem to be
But
operating
yeah.
pretty well, like whereas a lot of people, you know, lost a lot of energy early on because of the food like situation.
Well, because I was eating less than that before coming onto the show. That's why, especially when I'm first there, you see me just so perky and just like so happy to actually be cooking like real food. Because I had to really, and that's not to be a woe is me or nothing, but I mean, man, you've seen the economy these days. It sucks. Shit's
Yeah, no
expensive,
doubt,
and
man.
I had to prepay a lot of money. Well, in my book, a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. So when you left the show, like, were you like compensated in any way, or?
Oh yeah. No, no, they paid me, and they paid me well. I think due to the NDA, I probably can't say the amount, but oh yeah, I was paid.
Oh,
And
nice.
they understood, like, especially when I explained to them, it's like, look, I was actually about to go nuclear. Just like, because I let them know that, because, I'm off the show for those few days. And it's like, I let them know that I knew about the TJ stuff. And I was actually pretty mad about it because it's like, you guys made up this dog fucking rumor. And you have a fucking Simmons Vosh hybrid on your fucking show right now. And you're not letting people send TTS to him, roasting him about his disgusting shit.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think when you came back in the house is when they really let that kind of stuff through, and like Sam or Frank like questioned him on it, and Sam questioned him on it after that. But yeah, prior to that, like people really had to watch what they were saying in terms of TTS. Like there was like a few things about like horse fucking and incest and stuff like that, but like the username and everything, like Lubecooch, like I don't think could go through for like quite a
yeah.
number of days and stuff like that. So
But so this was like all the way back. So as was pointed out, because I didn't witness it, but as pointed out, uh, early on in the show, I guess someone sent a TTS saying horsecock, and you just saw TJ immediately get up and start leaving.
TJ, stop cucking out to horse dick and internet porn and smash that blonde real human pussy fuck Jew Brian.
Jew Brian? We're just getting everybody in the same lighting. One second, I'm gonna do on the flash. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
My time to go, I guess.
Yeah, let's talk. Nifty.
Sorry guys, I was just being pussy earlier. My bad.
That's some damning evidence right there if I've ever seen it. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, well, and the same thing with production, like when Sam took TJ to the attic, like I think it was on New Year's Eve, he asked him about his letterbox account, right, which has the same username as Lubecooch, and like people in chat had already been talking about Lubecooch, and so when he asked him about that, there was like you said, it is the same reaction, like it just it completely like guilty look. He looked right at the camera. He was super uncomfortable.
What's your favorite movie that you've reviewed on Letterboxd?
Clockwork Orange, maybe?
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tape Nifty's eyes open.
That was the first time that Sam had like ever acknowledged on the show the existence of the Lubecooch username. And so when he did that, like you could see him like squirm in his chair, right? And
Yeah.
it was interesting because he never really pressed him on it more than just that instance, but like people really, I think that's when they solidified for a lot of people that it was probably true, right?
And again, it's like you combine that with the fact they tried to leave the house when someone mentioned horsecock. Uh, and then you combine that where like you saw my interrogation. I did not have to say it was Rule 34.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have to say it was Rule 34. I'm not.
No, he
I'm
gave up a
wondering if
lot
he-
of information. Yeah, when you were talking to him, when you had when you returned and you were talking to him in the room, he gave up a lot of information that you hadn't revealed.
Yeah, and that was like, because I was giving him a test because it's like, you know, I mean I could tell it was real because you also look at the way that the two accounts write. It's also very similar. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then like I don't know, like a lot of people were running like kind of cover for him, like saying like,
Yeah.
oh, the
Yeah.
account was made like when he was at the show or when or he tweet or
Yeah,
he
and
made
then
comments when
they
he was at the
never
show.
and then they never let anyone use the inspect element on it. Like that's and I'm gonna be honest, like it's like a lot of his supporters are just Vosh fans because they're both okay with liking horses and kids, if I can be frank.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It's, I don't know, the whole arc with him. I don't really understand why they're so focused on him because it started like early on, like, and I don't know if you realized this, like, because you were in the house and you were kind of like in the beginning, like one of the social butterflies who was like interacting with most of the people, but they were like really pushing like a TJ main character kind of focus like early on with like the amount that production would give him pep talks and give him like directions and stuff like when he would just be like essentially just hanging out by himself in his room for like the first week basically.
Oh yeah, and like just on top of which the audacity him and Trish have to be like, oh yeah, we went through it so hard. And it's like, now I fucking felt bad for Trish with that haircut, but especially towards the end when I was about to get kicked out, it's like they were just letting her and TJ do everything, and then it's like I find out that they did something similar with her where TTS started roasting her about fucking Brian, and she was like crying, and then like I guess that got blocked. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
I don't think so.
Got it.
She did like confirm that she banged Brian when she was drunk the other day. Because like they gave her a pregnancy test, and she immediately went and did it. And then once she got it, she went to the basement, and you could hear her yelling in the basement.
You gotta get you like another straw or something.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where's that thing of ice cream? Forever.
And then they told her that it was a prank test, and she came up and she started like just like bragging about like, oh, I knew I wasn't pregnant. It's a fake test. They were just trolling me, blah blah blah. And then they did let through like quite a bit of TTS, and one of them was like along the lines of like, wow, I can't believe you let Brian hit it raw and come inside or something like that. And she was like, no, Brian pulled out.
Yeah, I know.
I need that cigarette!
Instinctually, I want to clean up a little bit.
So this confirms Brian didn't pull out. What an absolute Chad.
He did
Only
pull out.
11. More like only 12.
LOL.
Yeah. Woman moment, as you would say. What exactly were you referring to when you said, like, the woman moment?
So the woman moment was referring to the fact that during that challenge, she unironically said that TJ was, like, a better ally for women. Gave me that whole lecture about, like, how I apparently hate women. It's like, of course the fucking slut of the house who tries to dick ride any guy that comes in and has to copy Sylvia and Letty to try and gain some survivability. Which, I mean, Sylvia and Letty have both fucking noticed, like, her mimicking them hardcore. It's like the irony of, like, the slut thinking that the man who's actually into zoophilia and fucking his own daughter thinks that he's a fucking good ally for women. Just because of, like, the fucking common thing that you see with, like, male feminists turning out to be horrendous sex offenders and shit like that, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people accuse me of being a TJ stan or some shit, like on 4chan and on my channel and stuff, and I don't even understand where that comes from, because like I don't know. I've never been like, pro TJ in any way, really.
In fact, to add on to that, I'd say that even recently he's plagiarizing me at this point. Now I get that productions had him go up and say like he's the boss nigga, he's now Mr. Boss nigga in like the camera, but now he's even just copying my goals, where if you remember, there are plenty of times where I've said, like, my goal here is to, like, make it fun, whole 9 yards. I'm trying to, like, not have shit be too depraved. And now TJ's saying the exact same thing. It's like, you fucking unoriginal fucking parasite. You, like, again, it's like all that talk and you're doing this shit. God fucking damn. Like, why the boring... Why the boring are the ones being supported this season, I'm not sure at all. Because, like, again, it's not my show, but it's just like, good lord.
I just want to kind of go over some of, like, the, like, biggest moments, I guess, when you're on the show. But, like, yeah, like, right off the bat, I think one of the things that kind of won you over in the early days, I think, like, right on day one, with a lot of the fans was the whole, shorts incident with Cole.
They didn't give me shorts.
Well, no, so I brought these.
Oh, and those are 70s shorts? No one had shorts like that in the 70s.
I know that, like, look, they just kind of, like, sifted through my stuff. And it was like...
Okay, well, I have actual 70s shorts. So I'll talk to Gold, whatever his name is, tomorrow.
Well, yeah, and obviously, like, if they just overlook this, I got no problem giving them up.
Well, I love you having the shorts. I'd like to have my shorts. I hate to sleep in jeans,
And just like how production played into that and everything like that. Why do you think he was so mad about the shorts?
Why do I think Cole was so mad about the shorts?
Yeah, like, because I don't know if it was a bit
I
or
mean,
not.
Oh, no. Oh, you mean with my basketball shorts?
Yeah.
I honest to God... Now, so I do actually like Cole, if it makes sense. Like, the times where you see me being friendly to him, that's not me lying. That's me being like, LOL, this is kind of fun. You're fucking annoying on this show, and like in the show's environment, it's like, there's that big clash. And, some of the shit he would say. But no, I think that is honestly him. Because I wasn't told it was going to be, like, 70s themed or nothing, right? So, it was likewise the same thing for him, and he was probably... like actually upset because he had like nothing He wasn't able to bring in anything that he wanted to.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think it was cool that you guys like kind of squashed that pretty quickly. Like when you kind of took over the role of being like, his like sidekick and being the detective for that couple days. That was really funny. Like a lot of people really liked that.
I loved it too, honestly.
The day that Cole left, or maybe the day after, it was dead in the house, and that was the day that they started teaching TJ to twerk with Trisha.
The women are dropping like flies, so we got some more coming in soon, but we're going to need you to kind of fill in a gap for a bit, because some of the people watching are already confused about the status of your gender, if you know what I mean.
I see.
Yeah, so what we want you to do is just kind of act maybe a little more feminine for a bit until these other girls come in. Every time that song comes on, you kind of jump around. Do you think you could, like, I don't know, do ballet or, maybe twerk instead?
They did like a course correction after Cole left because they're like, hey, we need to like fill this content gap that's now like in the house, right?
The show just feels like it's got so much more malice this season than last
for
season.
sure.
I don't know, maybe that's rose-colored glasses, but I really see it that way.
Yeah, I totally
I
agree.
mean, you can have a side by side. It's like they weren't like, obviously, I would have been more than happy to eat a fucking fatty concoction. I would have fucking died, no doubt. Just on the spot, I'm gonna be real with you. If I give it up, I give it my all. But it's like, they weren't having them eat like fucking raw jalapenos and habaneros like on camera, and then you have to turn to the camera and be like icky pukers every time you puke, or else it's like you're fucked.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
it's
think
Well,
now again, like,
they
that's nothing against
typecast
production,
you as the
but
villain, and then they really treated you as a villain, and it's fucked up, but
and then
that's what happened,
and again, nothing against them, but it's like when everyone was surprised, that's like, oh shit, Jimmy, how could you do this? We just targeted you and treated you like a villain for a week and a half. Why did you actually blow up? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why is this surprising?
yeah, the dog pile was real on you for like from Tuesday until you first left. Um, yeah, that was like you could see it just ratcheting up like every moment for days on end. But I think obviously, I think the next biggest moment, and maybe I'll give you an opportunity to kind of squash the rumors, is like when you worked like so hard to like get the Gooncave open, and then one of the first moments of you being in there was when Cole and Trish were making out, and you came out, and everyone was saying that you had cum on your jeans.
That was either, now I think I was drinking that night, so that was either me accidentally getting some piss on my pants or me spilling a drink. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know where the stain came from. Actually, now I think about it, I think, was there a drink or like a zip or something I maybe brought with me? I'm not sure. As you've noticed, I always have to wear a belt. I don't know why, but my waist is like smaller than like the pantlet than the lengthwise. But I don't know, it's like a weird size that they usually don't make. So I always have to wear a belt. Uh, so Vance, so when Cole said, "I bet there's someone in there," I was about to escape, and just as I'm escaping, Vance pops in with a fucking cigarette. He's just lighting it like he's just on the other side of the door, and I open it up to escape. And like he just immediately pops in lighting a cigarette from a fan. And that's when I bump my head on the door and like make the noise that alerts Trish and Cole.
That was hilarious, honestly.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it.
now Vance was a bro because I told him to sound like Brian and do his best Brian impression and say he was going downstairs. And then I snuck out the front. And in doing so, because you have to crawl under there, right? In doing so, my pants got hooked on something, and then it's like, they're part way down because that happens a fucking lot. That's why I wear belts. And then that's why like I had to hike them up and then book it. Lore time. It is absolutely true that I did not masturbate the entire time in there. So you're seeing just how much testosterone gets built up over time. An old Jimmy Downey.
Guy Heaven's been doing the no fap thing for a very long time. So I think Jimmy's been aware of that and hasn't been watching porn. I don't think he's a porn watcher. So
Not really. It's just like there's just so many better things I can do with my life.
yeah,
And I mean, yeah, like why watch porn when you can have the real thing? And like actually be like, oh wow, this is a loving experience with a beautiful woman. Oh boy, here I go.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
That probably sounded retarded, I'm sorry.
no, man, you're just speaking for the girls. You're a real ladies' man.
I got sent to the principal's office in college for putting down one of my goals was to be a ladies' man. There's this shithole called Juniata. I might have told this on the show, but yeah, they actually sent me to the principal's office in 2014 for saying that one of my goals was to be a ladies' man, and they accused me of wanting to abuse women. And it's like, you fat fucking retard. Absolutely not.
What did you go to school for, Jimmy?
So I originally went to be a small animal vet. I mean, honestly, after when my business empire does get up and running on the side, I'm going to open up a small veterinarian office, but it's like, 24/7 for those who have horrific accidents involving their pets late at night, so they're just not like left there because yeah, that happened to me a lot as a kid, where like, growing up on a farm, a lot of your pets die, some naturally, some not so naturally. And that's just never good when like all the vets are closed. Sorry. But yeah, so I originally went to be a small animal vet, and then I saw this sheer amount of chemistry, because the way they teach chemistry is absolute fucking bullshit. It's just an unnecessary math class. When in reality it should be a hands-on class to really understand how these different elements work together and how you can fuse them in different ways. That would be a much better way to teach chemistry. I was horrible at chemistry because again, it's just an unnecessary bullshit math class. The way they fucking teach it, shit makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I haven't done it since high school, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. It also turns out that to be a small animal vet is more difficult than becoming a human doctor. And just the ridiculous amount of schooling and hoop jumping where it's like, yo, I know I'm gonna fucking fail miserably and just spend a bunch of money for fucking nothing. So then I had a bit of a existential crisis. Then, yeah, fairly recently I went back to college and then to like a halfway decent college this time. Because, like I said, Juniata was a shithole. I got mono, Lyme's disease, and sleep apnea. They all knew it. They still failed me. And, yeah, like, didn't go back to college for a while. I didn't even want to go to that fucking place. My fucking mom refused to let me go to, like, any university or big college. And it's like, you fucking dumbass. This is just going to be high school all over again, and it's going to suck. Which I was right. But, yeah, I got a degree in business now from the college I went to. Because after meditating on it for a while and trying to think, because first year of college was when like my parents first divorced too, and like they were selling the farm because they kept fighting over it. So another thing I was trying to think of is how do I fucking buy back my farm? And then I realized with a business degree, I can just make like a business empire. Because there's a lot of different products that people don't really think about making that are kind of guaranteed cash products, especially if you sell them right. And do everything 1000% legally.
Like what kind of stuff are you thinking of selling?
So it's classified. It is not pharmaceuticals or anything fucked up like that. But when you think of cash products, think of I mean, for fuck's sake, man, like think of socks, right? Just an object a general object that is used on a daily basis that brings some sort of joy or comfort to the average person. Like, and they don't really think about it, but, it does. That's kind of a cash product, similar to a cash crop like cotton and tobacco. It's just things that people need on an everyday life. But you make it for a very affordable price, but a really high quality, like, like fucking, bring it back to where, it was built to last fucking forever and like sell it at a very reasonable price so the average working man can afford it and fucking appreciate it. And it's like, bam, you've just fucking won the whole business shit. The issue is just saving up for the licenses and all that bullshit, really. Like all the fucking bureaucratic hoops. That's the main issue of a business, and also location. Like, if I was anywhere else with Hoarder Man right now, I would probably have no problem selling shit. But where I'm at now is kind of a shithole.
Yeah, I used to sell on eBay, and I was having the same issue. Just with like living in like a smaller area, right? Like I live in Canada in like a town that's like, well, at the time was like 100,000 people, which is like relatively small, especially like when you're trying to sell stuff locally. And um, yeah, same issue, like just sourcing stuff there and also trying to sell stuff there was becoming not really worth the effort that I was putting in. And then COVID hit, and it was just like, yeah, there's not really any way of making this a viable business.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you focus with like online stuff, I mean, you can make a lot of money still, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
especially with
no,
like the
no doubt.
exposure from the show.
Yeah. Definitely. One thing that me and Sylvia are actually going to be doing in the near future is I'm trying to figure it out. I could actually use help figuring it out. Obviously, I'm going to need a lot of my close friends and whatnot to kind of mod it, but essentially a fire sale stream. Because before I went on to the show to prepare for me being gone for like 2 months, I cleaned out a lot of actual resellable inventory from Hoarder Man's.
Hmm.
Due to the fact it was around the holiday season and no one buys anything really around the holiday season, so it's not a good time to consign shit. Uh, my apartment's like filled with a lot of his inventory, especially like just really old books and old texts and shit like that. So I'm trying to get a fire sale started so I can kind of like liquidate a lot of that. Me and Sylvia would split in, then obviously the bulk of it would go to like Hoarder Man and his wife for like home repairs and just their general comfort.
Yeah, I've never
But yeah,
heard
I'm
of
trying to set that up.
I've never heard of Fire Sale. Like, is that like a website or?
No, no, no. So fire sale refers to you're just selling a big bulk of stuff really cheap slash really affordable. And since Hoarder Man's a collector of everything, there's like, plenty of fucking like antique shit. Like so many books from the 1800s, bro. Like it's fucking ridiculous. There's even
Okay.
books from about Canada from the 1800s in like this pile, bro.
So
Like that ass.
you're saying like run like doing like a stream on like YouTube or Twitch and then like selling stuff
Yeah,
there. Oh, okay.
it'd be a simul stream, no doubt. I'm getting Streamlabs set up. Later today, I'm going to be calling an in real life friend, and I mean certainly if anyone from the Manifesto group's down to join the call. But just getting the final bits of Streamlabs set up, maybe getting some animations in there, and then just really discussing like, okay, so we need to do a fire sale stream. Where should we have all the payments get processed through in terms of like my accounts? Uh, and then also just discussing with Sylvia, because between me and her, like I'm more than happy to do like 50-50 split. But we also need to like discuss like, okay, how much goes to Hoarder Man and his wife? Uh, yeah, that's a lot of fucking talking. But yeah, this is just a way to sell a buttload of stuff really, really cheaply. Another thing I just got to figure out is shipping. Like, I can invest in a bunch of boxes, but we got to figure out because first come, first serve customer wise. And it's like, okay, well, where do customers even send their addresses? Like, they can't just fucking dox themselves in like a fucking live stream, you know?
Yeah, no doubt,
Uh,
no doubt.
a lot of
Um,
different moving parts to it, but hopefully I'll be able to get it figured out soon enough.
yeah, no, I look forward to seeing that. In terms of like your YouTube and like Twitter and stuff, like how would you say your metrics have like changed like since being on the show? Like how many followers have you gained and like kind of where are you at with like creating new content and stuff?
Well, I mean, I was kind of a nobody, but I didn't really care because I kind of thought that clout chasing or trying to be a quote unquote influencer was just like really gay and disingenuous. I just like to shitpost, just make silly shit, like just for to make mainly to like make friends laugh and anyone else who stumbles upon it. It's like, yeah, cool, you found like a video with like less than 100 views. I hope it made you laugh. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, so my follower count went from like I don't know 200 to like a few thousand on just every account. It's been thousands upon thousands upon thousands of just messages. And that's actually why it's taken me so long to get back to everyone. I've been playing secretary and just really trying to catch up on every single message from like fans. And I think as I've combed through all the messages, the hater count of like messages and shit, especially directly, it's still below 20. And just the rest is just nothing but positivity. And I mean, yeah, that's nuts. And my heart's like really fucking warmed. Like I told Dillon and other close friends of mine and people I trust, like I haven't been this happy since I was fucking 10 years old. At the same time, I am a bit spooked, just because I haven't been in any position anywhere near close as this. I mean, emotionally, obviously, when I was a kid, it's like you feel like you're on top of the world. But I am a bit spooked just because it's like you just see all these people like turn evil and arrogant and just fuck everything up and become a monster, and just very paranoid about bad shit like that.
Yeah, man, I think if you just stay in your lane and like continue doing what you're doing, interacting with your fans and stuff, like I think you'll be fine. Like, to be honest, I think if you get too ahead of yourself, that's where things start to go awry. Like if, for example, like if you look at like um John on social media, like he's kind of gone off the deep end recently. A lot of people have been kind of talking about him from like season one, and a number of like people from season one. I think just, having that humility, like you were kind of just talking about, it'll go a long way.
Yeah, I do feel really bad for taking so long to get this fucking ball rolling. Also, by the way, when I do swear, it's not because I'm angry or anything. I just grew up in a house where everyone swore, so it just slips out when I'm talking.
No worries, man. I lived in a sober house for like 3 years with 8 other dudes, so I
Oh,
swear quite a
oh,
bit as
God
well.
bless you, sir. I mean, God bless you, sir. I'm happy that you made it out of there okay, and that you seem to still be doing good. I wasn't lying about getting myself clean from cocaine and amphetamines back in, I think, 2016 or 2017. But I do sincerely feel you, homie. Like, again, God bless. Because, damn, that shit's tough. But yeah, I am sincerely sorry. I do feel bad for taking so long to get this ball rolling, and it's driving me nuts too.
It's all good, man. Don't
But
worry about it.
I've just been swamped.
I figured it would be, a little while before I heard back from you, especially seeing when you went back on the show. I was just wondering, like, when you left, like that initial time you left, like, what was the correspondence like between you and the producers? Like, was it like, oh, we're gonna bring you back in a couple days, and you left knowing that, or like a couple days later you heard from them, or like how did that go down?
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it,
Oh yeah, for sure.
uh, because part of the NDA is like, don't spoil any magic. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's like the gist I get from it. But I mean, it's like I will say, the big man himself was like, "No, you stay. I want you back." Uh, Others were like, "Oh, you have to calm down, man. You have to calm down." And I'm just like, I didn't yell at him or anything, but I was just thinking in my head, it's like, you let Trish change the game. I was not the one trying to fan the fucking flames here, and like, you were not enforcing those fucking rules like at all. And like, obviously, you get out, and it's like, you learn that a lot of the hate TTS was inorganic. It's like, bro, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Like, why are you complaining? You wanted me angry. This is me angry. I kept saying, like, I hate being angry, and it's not pleasant when I'm fucking angry, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I can like really say like on that as to how I got back on. But I mean, yeah, and like I say, like, there's no hate, no nothing. Uh, Obviously, it was just a shitty situation in every way, honestly.
Do you think you'll ever be
Uh,
back on future seasons, or like would you even want to?
I would absolutely love to work on future episodes. I'm not sure, and again, like NDA.
Is there anyone that you particularly would want to see on season three, like in terms of like past contestants or freeloaders or anything?
Oh, I mean, honestly, it's okay. So definitely Chip. We needed more Chip. If we had Chip, if Chip kept coming on, that I was gonna have fun with Chip. I was gonna have so much fun with Chip. I was so sad when they never brought him back. I was like expecting him to bust out the walls or some shit again. It's like, fuck, I need my Chip. Where's my Chip, man?
No doubt, yeah. Yeah, that was a
Uh,
pretty funny bit.
Definitely Chip. Obviously, like, you know, season one contestants that are in that like are good and like everything's chill and mellow and like not Simmons. Same thing with like most of the freeloaders returning except for a few. The legal liabilities. Certainly no Nifty. Because that wasn't an act. Apparently she's an actual pedophile and thinks it's okay. And that was another thing that had me scratching my head and thinking, huh. You keep saying I'm a legal liability when I drink and when I get mad. But you have a woman here talking about being a pedophile and defending it.
Yeah, that whole
Huh.
thing with Nifty was really odd. I wasn't sure like if any of that
Apparently
was
that's
real, but
real. No, no. Apparently, I mean, like you have it on good faith. Like that was fucking real, and a lot of people are like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, I mean
I
it
was like,
makes
I can get it where like they had some funny skits like fucking with her in her room, but it's like,
Let's go, content queen! That's the content queen! I think this place is haunted! Let's content queen shit! My nigga Nifty, my nigga Nifty, content queen! Content queen!
you can only do that for so long before it gets boring, and it's like, ugh.
well, I think the main bit with her, as much as people won't like me saying this, is that made her kind of a good freeloader was that she was able to get under everyone's skin by doing like the bare minimum basically. Because like literally like 90% of chat was on your guys' side being like fuck Nifty, and it created a lot of engagement for the show.
Uh, I will say I am bummed out I didn't get to do much of the manifesto. I Actually, now that I think about it, I think the targeting may have started because, and this is something I refuse to do. You can ask Dillon. But there are a lot of orders in the manifesto I thought were going too far, and one of them I refused to do was like, there's one where it's like, fuck with Jet. And it's like, well, I'm not gonna fuck with Jet. That's just suicide. Like, if anything, I'd be like mild. And I mean, you saw me teasing him, like getting him to crack up in the cell challenge when he comes in, and I tell him like, not to finger the fucking sunflower or something, or else it'll squirt all over you. He's just sitting there laughing. Like I tease him like that, but I tease everyone like that. That's my version of fucking with someone.
Yeah, well, what did they want you to do, like, to fuck with him?
I don't know. Like I guess more. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, shit. Dylan's the one who wrote it. I just said like, look, that's a bit too much for me. Like I wasn't gonna do like any poop or pee stuff. That was a bit much for me because I really
So
don't
like
like
we
that
wanted, some of the things Jimmy like that we thought would be very funny for Jimmy to do that he didn't want to do. One of them was that like when people press him, we thought he could have like a series of events of like messing with the bathroom, right? So the
Mhm.
first one would
Oh no,
be
I'm talking about the first manifesto, dude, not the
oh,
second
okay,
one.
okay, okay, yeah. Well, the first manifesto, yeah, there was a yeah, I don't know. There was some stuff on there like piggyback rides. We wanted him to jump on Jet's back for a piggyback ride. Yeah,
Was
I
that
don't know. There
something?
was a number of things that were like I don't know. It was just it's kind of weird talking about it because it's like from our point of view, we were literally just like screwing around and like just some like nothing bits, and I didn't even think any of it was even going to make it on the show. More than anything else, I wanted him to shout out our mutual friend Iana De Simone who had passed recently, and like we wanted like the codes to like culminate so that people would catch on, but that it would mostly be like a big reveal of him like giving some recognition to like a fallen friend of ours. But I mean, all of the like harassment stuff, like, I mean, I don't know. We thought it was just in nature and in tune with the show. And Jimmy really like, I mean, there was a few things on there that he was like, no, I don't want to do that. And we are like, okay,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no exploitative efforts or anything like that at all.
And like it's especially like they were very kind and so the reason why I was doing the manifesto for him is Mephisto, so he's also known as AKA Goon the Hero. Uh he was the one who in the fan group we were part of found the Craigslist ad. So it's like I owe them, and it's like we both like the shit post. And like I made it clear from the get-go, it's like, yeah, like I'm down to follow some, like mind you, if like it's too extreme or my heart's not in it, I'm not gonna do it. And they were all fucking fine with it. Like they understood completely where it's like, let me do me, and I promise you I can make this shit work. Like I am gonna go balls to the wall like progressively over time.
The only reason why you even asked us to like help, just pitch in or whatever is like we've all been making memes. The group that we're in is like, I mean, it is a meme group, at its heart, where like we really don't appreciate people posting stuff that's like not original content, and we just like making each other laugh. Like that's really the mainstay of all of it. And like, there's a lot of meme page creators and just people that make memes that like it's just our own like little secret group. So we thought we would come together and write some bits for them. And it's not like it's end of the world bits or anything like that. Like Sam called it cringe and gay, and I've been repeatedly referring to it as that since then because it's funny. Like the whole thing was just funny.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of fucking with Jet, like what's this whole thing with like Jet's Rolex or something? Like I don't really, I mean, I saw the video and then I also like saw some of your posts on Twitter, but I mean it is pretty cryptic, so I don't really know like
Send her to me, yeah. Lord, please send her to me, yeah. Cross my heart that I love her.
Okay, so the whole watch situation is like this. So, they kick me out for bullshit twice. It's like, yo, I'm just so fucking done with this shit. It's like, I'm the only one in driving distance, right? And then I see, like, that fucking gay baby challenge, and then just still coddling TJ, and just being a bunch of cunts. So I realized, you know what, fuck it. Like, they really want me to be the fucking bad guy. They really want me to go nuclear and shit. I'll fucking show them what I'm capable of. Because, for example, Jet didn't know about the, trap door in, like, the long bathroom. And the outside of the house, I can tell, is ancient. Like, this is some 1800 shit, and this is a large house. Normally, they're just modified on the inside, but, like, the shell itself is mostly kept intact. And, essentially, I parked my car somewhere nearby, and I snuck up to the house. I just quickly looked around, because, I mean, I'm good at that shit. I fucking urban explore for a fucking passion. So I'm used to this shit. And I find an old service hatch that goes in between the walls for like old-timey electricians and plumbers. And so I've snuck into the walls. There's like one part that leads into the fucking basement. And like they have like that cheap fucking styrofoam ceiling down there. Of course they fucking do. I just kind of just found a nice place where I could kind of climb down from the ceiling and then get back in without breaking it. I just snagged Jet's Rolex. It's too small for my fucking wrist, because, small fucking wrist on Jet, I guess. So I've just been holding it hostage and hiding in the fucking walls, praying for Shinji and Tay. I have actually been whispering some like shit, and I think that some people can hear it, but I make sure it's just them, and like it can't be picked up by the fucking camera. And it's like, it's just faint enough to where they might think that they're just going insane. But yeah, I've just been playing a game of cat and mouse with production. I'm in the walls and I'm praying for Shinji and Tay to be the final two. And it's like, yeah, like I'm not playing games with that anymore.
Well, luckily for you, Jet has me blocked, so he won't see this video, I think. So I don't think he'll be pressing charges on trespassing or burglary or
Well, I
anything
mean,
like that, so.
Well, I mean, there's nothing they can really do in terms of like charging me, because it's like all the cards are in my hand now.
I mean, a
Like,
Jimmy Fugitive arc would be pretty kino though, so.
I mean, it's not like I'm stealing it, or necessarily breaking into the house. I'm just in the walls, not damaging the house. Like that's just gonna look really good in court, where it's like, Your Honor, if you think they cared about this house, might present all these fucking exhibits, and it's just like them throwing poop and pee around and whatnot, so they couldn't really blame me for like damaging the house or even really breaking into it, because it's like it's clear they don't care about the house. As well as the fact that it's like, I haven't stolen the watch. The watch is just being held hostage. So that way it's like, yeah, you can fucking stop me, but I'll never tell you where the fucking watch is. Unless you let me back in, like, you're not getting this fucking watch. Or rather, until you let me back in, you're not getting the fucking watch back. And when I need to, like, I have been peeing on top of the basement ceiling. Like, so the old service maintenance fucking in between the walls and floor shit connects to most of the house. And, like, that spot where I jumped down into the basement, there's, like, a few other spots alongside it. I've just been peeing onto the basement ceiling. So I heard that it's flooded today. Yeah, there's probably my piss in there. When I need to shit or buy anything, I just sneak back out and go to my car because I'm in driving fucking distance of the place. And I just, like, I don't know, just restock it like a fucking gas station or some shit like that. Catch up to messages, message fans, because, like, there's just fucking free Wi-Fi everywhere these days. You just have to know where to look. And yeah, like, it's just been really fucking easy. It's like, LOL, you thought you got rid of me, you thought you fucking won. This is what I'm really capable of. Get fucked. I have your watch now, and I'm in your walls and floors.
Damn, man. Well, in terms of the watch, have you got it appraised? Like, how much are we talking here?
The Dillon, how much was that watch worth again?
A little over 15,000.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's like, bet. I've gotten dead ass a third place prize in my fucking pocket and just in my little hostage spot where they can't reach it.
With the lore behind it being Jets and then how it exchanged hands to you, could probably sell it for easily 25,000.
Cool. The other thing is, like, it's just a good negotiating tool because it's like, nah, motherfucker, you thought you were done with me. Look at these boring ass bitches. Like, bruh.
This last week has
yeah.
been pretty rough, like, in terms of content, to be honest.
Yeah, and TJ's just at this point plagiarizing me. Like, I get that, again, I get that production sent him up to say, like, I'm the boss nigga now. But it's like, now he's stealing, like, my whole spiel that I was saying, like, from day one, where it's like, yeah, I'm just here to make it fun and just make people happy. Like, when he was talking about how much he hates Tay, it's like, all those fucking bullshit lectures for what? Like, you're still an unoriginal fucking degenerate at the end of the day. Because now you're copying me, the guy you supposedly hate, and think is, like, the worst person in the fucking world.
How are you and Tay? Because, like, when you left the house,
oh no, we're close.
She was like your biggest supporter, it seemed like, and then when you came back,
oh yeah, me.
It seemed like there was like tension there.
But you gotta stay in your 3-foot world, man.
Jimmy, that's what I've been trying, man.
You
Fuck.
gotta stay.
I've been trying all day, man. And it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do when a woman's like this? She knows that my fucking tensions are high.
I know, man, but you gotta know when to hold back.
No, there's no tension. He was surprised at first. I think that she thought I was going to be mad at her for, like, finding out that, she was given the order to hide my phone or my chip. But it's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, you were told to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck. I always told her and, like, Brian and Shinji, it's like, we have to do what we have to do. So it's like, no hard feelings on that. And, she wasn't being a fucking retarded cunt like Trish.
Yeah. So, like, just in terms of, like, because, like, last night we were kind of tweeting back and forth at each other about the final three. Why is it that you want Shinji to win over Tay? Like, I understand you don't want TJ to win, but, like, why is it that you want Shinji to win?
So it's nothing against Tay. It's just the simple fact that since day one, Shinji was on my side. With Tay, who me and her, like, that was a genuine bonding experience. We did get close. Shit, Dunye even told me that. I guess in a clever way, Tay was able to convey to Dunye that she actually doesn't dislike me. She's just kind of doing that shit for the show to, like, keep winning. But, it took her a few weeks to realize that, okay, he's harmless and whatnot. And, like, me, but just, like, letting her into, like, my personal life and whatnot to, like, help her understand why I am the way I am. Which she understood, and that's when, like, you saw us get really close in the cell challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Now it has to be them as the final two. And again, like, I just want Shinji because I'm a first come, first serve kind of man. He was there for me since day one. How can I look him in the eye and call him a brother if I do not support him fully for just being on my side since day one and always being the first on my side for everything? Even if he wouldn't, like, publicly say it, but, like, he'd take me aside and be like, look, I am on your side. I just have to play the game here. Right? Like, shit like that.
Yeah.
But the reason why they have to be the final two is so that way it's like, no matter who loses that, they will both go home with a good amount of money. So like neither one of them's going to be fucked. Like they're going home and they're going to be good. Last season it was what, $20,000? That's why I said the Rolex I have hostage is like the third place prize because it's 15,000.
Yeah, pretty much. And like with the prize being up to 50,000 this year, it might even be higher for second place. So I mean, I guess it all depends. I don't know what the financial system or like situation is this year, just because obviously there's a lot more expenses this year. I don't know exactly how much like they're in profit or whatever at this point, but it'll be interesting to see like once the financial statements come out.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'd imagine they're still in the green or some shit, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm interested to see what they do with the house and like how, like if they flip the house or if they just like demolish the house. They say they have plans to like to fix it up.
I hope they fix it up. It is a nice house. Certainly get rid of the excessive carpeting. I feel like a lot of those carpets have to just be ripped up at this point, but
oh yeah,
they probably already figured that.
They filled the whole house with sand yesterday, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're not gonna.
Oh, yo, sweet.
Yeah,
I wish I was there. I mean, I wish I was like outside the walls for that. I thought I heard a weird noise that day, but yeah, I didn't know it was sand. Like I said, I just kind of keep up with clips. I'm far too busy teaching myself Streamlabs and responding to fan mail.
Yeah, man. No, if that makes sense. Yeah, I can only imagine like how many fucking emails or messages you have on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff. The last thing I kind of want to talk about is just like, I don't know, I guess the way that you left the show. I know you've talked about it like ad nauseum, like in terms of the situation with Brittany and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not really gonna be like, pressing you on any of that shit or anything, because like, I mean, if anyone wants to like hear you talk about it, like there's endless hours about it.
Countless examples.
Yeah, exactly. I was wondering like if you've talked to her like outside of the show at all.
Nope.
How did you feel about Frank the other day on like Twitter Space? Like I didn't really watch the whole thing, but I just heard that he kind of like called you out.
Oh, so this.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about the mallet thing because, like, it's clear that he did hit her with the mallet. Everybody knows he hit her with the mallet. He freaked out about the phone and he hit her with the mallet. That's just like a fact. It's not really up for debate or anything. That's what happened, and that's why you got kicked off, the first time.
But I didn't hit her because when people get hit with mallets, they don't start dancing and cheering and singing about it, and then only pretending to be hurt whenever production or someone walks into the room.
You are dangerously delusional in a way that is kind of disturbing. You're like out of touch with reality.
Word.
Well, no. So this, I'm not on like any what's it called? Essentially, I'm not under any contract. That was just him hassling me. Like the shit that he said, like I wish I was there to team up with you and all that stuff. Like that wasn't a joke. Like he's really chill. That was just him hassling me because it's like. He knew I wanted to be there. If anything, like, I found it a bit endearing because it's like, he came in to just kind of hassle me how he could. Probably to, like, see if, like, I was lying or not when I said, like, no hard feelings, because I can understand that.
You did handle it a lot better than when he did the same thing to Jet, like, in the preseason. I don't know if you saw that clip.
Why are you mad? Why are you, like, putting me on blast that you didn't have more scenes? Shit, dude.
You're
the episode was over double its normal length, and still shit got regrettably cut. Like that's the nature of production.
Stupid fucking detective shit that wasn't funny, bro. There was like 20 minutes of that crap.
Well, dude, guess what?
Investigation or whatever. That shit is not funny, dude. It's not funny. Nobody wants to see that.
Well, Frank, if you want to come edit for me 60 hours a week, you want to come edit for me 60 hours a week and make those narrative decisions, be my guest. But you don't. You hire editors.
Yeah, of course.
Okay? All right, then get the fuck out of my face. Guys, it's been a good meet and greet here. I've had a swell time. I'm glad everyone had entertainment, whether at my expense or alongside me. Especially with this funny little space that went down.
You handled it actually better than Jet, so kudos to you on that.
Sweet, but yeah, I kept out of like all that drama, like just because it's I don't know, I stay out of drama that ain't my business really. And that's why he kind of saw me in the tank like being neutral and just kind of trying to keep the peace, not trying to like put myself into anything.
Have you been in contact with any of like the previous fish? Like,
Oh yeah, all the time.
I saw you on a call
the
with
previous
Brian and
fish.
stuff.
I crashed Brian's stream.
Care about Jimmy, I really do. If he's watching this isn't just shit on you, bro. It's not. Like, it's just, like, this is fucking insane. But yeah, this is not, like, I can't defend it. Like, I don't know how to defend something like that, to be honest.
Hello, Brian's audience. It is I, Jimmy Downey. I have brought you greetings from the Hoarder dimension.
Like, have you been talking to anyone else that was in, like, season 2 with you?
I have been in talks with Meg. My apologies to Meg for taking so long. I am just really, really busy. And I am going to join, like, her Discord and whatnot and just, like, chill with her. Because, again, like, I mean, she obviously knows, but, like, and it does make me laugh when the haters try to claim it's like, oh, yeah, you threw a chair at Meg. And it's like, no, you can clearly see I was pissed off because, the circulation to my left hand was cut off with those zip ties.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit, like, breaking them on that stone fireplace. You saw Brian's wrist. I didn't get it as bad as him, but that shit fucking hurts.
Turn off my circulation! There you go, Mr. Jimmy.
Fuck you! Fuck you! None of this was because of me! Retard!
Shut the fuck up, Jimmy.
Fuck you too, bitch!
Shut the fuck up.
What happens?
Dumbass.
Don't fuck with me right now.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
fuck with me right now.
Okay, contain yourself, retard.
I swear to fucking Christ.
Yeah, no doubt.
And on top of which, with, like, everyone blaming me for it getting tougher and tougher and tougher, that's why I snapped like that, but it's like, I clearly did not throw the chair at Meg, and I really didn't mean to make Meg that upset. That did actually break my heart, because it's like, oh god, no, I liked Meg. I am going to be joining her Discord to, like, just talk and chill and whatnot. Because, I mean, yeah, like, that was genuine. Like, I thought she was really funny, actually. I don't think the cameras really picked up on it, but there were some moments where, like, she was really funny. At least when I was talking to her.
She actually had quite a bit of followers, like, a lot of, like, the positive stuff coming in about Meg, like, especially, like, around the time that she ended up leaving. It was pretty genuine. Like, I don't think there was, like, much of it that was, like, production meddling or anything like that. Like, a lot of people were actually pretty, like, ride or die for Meg, like, in the early days.
Oh, no, like, and I don't blame them. I liked Meg as a person. I was honestly, I mean, Tayleigh, I'm sure will forgive me, but my mind was more so, well, for that time especially, my mind was more preoccupied with Cole. Just because I saw Cole as, like, a big threat. And also, like, you know, the Fishtank environment, like, I did sincerely get along with him, and I hated the fact I had to, like, try to aim for him. I was like, I definitely wanted Brian to stay a bit longer. And it's like, I knew that, they were probably gonna try to, like, have an elimination challenge between Brian and Cole again. And it's like, I didn't want to take that risk. I wanted Brian to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, no offense to Cole or nothing, but we didn't start off on the best of terms, although I'm not lying. You are a really funny dude, like, both in and out of the tank, and I did enjoy, like, all the wacky shit and the bonding moments we had together. That shit was genuine. I don't act or pretend to have fun with people, you know? Like, I'm always very honest if I don't like a person.
Yeah, no, and that came through on the show. Like, we saw that, like, with you especially. I think you were probably the most forthcoming person on the show, I would say, pretty much of anyone.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone that not only, like, willing to, like, say something real to other fish, but also, like, be real about yourself and like your own shortcomings and stuff. So I think that was also, like, especially with this cast this season, was one of the really redeeming qualities of you as like a cast member.
Out of curiosity, so I do know from a lot of people, and I don't blame them, because I'm used to having to kind of, like, prove myself to people, not to be a woe is me.
Mm-hmm.
But so I know from, like, a lot of fans who said, like, who would always say, like, that they weren't gonna lie, like, they didn't like me at first, but but I grew on them. What were you, like, one of those? And if so, like, what was the moment where, like, you were like, you know what, I think I like Jimmy as, like, a contestant, if that makes sense?
For me, it was, okay, you came into the house, and, like, the first thing, the first moment, like, literally the first word out of your mouth like people were already divided on you. Like, because you came in and like your voice is like so deep, and you just go hello,
And you think I'm faking,
and yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's faking a voice, and he thinks he's being funny. This is cringe." And other people were like, "This guy's fucking hilarious. Oh my god." And I was like more in the camp of like, "This is like really funny." And I thought you were faking. Like, I thought you were faking, and it was funny. And then, like, for the first few days, I was just like, I can't really get a read on this guy. Like, I don't know if this is all bits or like if like he's just like seriously.
He's actually like that.
Yeah, like if he's just seriously like, I don't know, like just like messed up, like in terms of like your past and everything, like when you were talking about like the troubled youth like stuff with Summer.
Yeah, they were like in a contract, like any psychological damage that you have because of the show, it's not our fault. You agree to like mental, physical, emotional distress if you go, and I was like, sure.
For the first time, it's a good thing that my mom forged my signature to wellness therapy when I was 18. Because I already went through all that, but like, yeah, I didn't get any money. I just became homicidal.
Homicidal?
Yeah, when you're so do you know how those places work, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay.
For 4 months.
And I think that also was like pretty divisive for a lot of people, because like a lot of people.
Oh yeah, because a lot of people, because you'd think that like all the fucking do-gooders and social justice fucks would like want to actually shut those places down, but it's like no, they do not give a shit. They never have.
Yeah.
And it's like it's hard to believe that places like that still exist because everyone's like fucking convinced where it's like we shut down Pennhurst. Pennhurst will never happen again, and it's like Pennhurst is still fucking everywhere, like out in the open.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry for my rambling.
No, it's all good, man. I think the main thing in the early days, especially, was the amount of airtime that you filled, like in terms of talking, and like other people listening to you, and like people not being able to get a read on you, but also like not being able to get a read on the other people because you were talking so much, made people like dislike you. So I think for myself, like I think for the first like probably 3 or 4 days, I would like tune in and out of like the discussions happening in the lounge, like where you would be kind of dominating the whole conversation. And I was like, okay, like I was like, I'll grab some lore here and there, but I'm gonna like watch like Cole go to his room, or like I'm gonna watch people leave this situation and see how they're reacting to Jimmy, because you were kind of like creating the main focal point, but a lot of people in the house and in the chat, I feel like, were getting annoyed by it and being vocal about it. So I was like more so following people's reactions to it as opposed to you, but I think without you, like a lot of that stuff wouldn't be happening, right? So like it's not like a diss on you or like I didn't like you. It was just that
no, I got you.
From a clip perspective and just from like a entertainment value perspective, I was like, okay, I can always switch back to the Jimmy channel, and I know it's gonna be going on still. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I think for me, like when you like won me over as like, okay, this guy is like actually really funny, and like I'm gonna start like following him in the house more, was like when you try to do the backflip when you were really drunk on like the 4th or 5th day.
Oh yeah.
I think
and then someone said, put your head in the fish tank, and I did.
Alright. Please do sound the alarm in case I fucking kill myself or like it's fucked. I will tell you like, yo, it's fucked, and just beg for production through the fucking camera to come help me because I was a dumbass and fucking killed myself, but yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, that should be good. So we just gotta chase your foot. Just gotta fucking chase your foot. Come on, don't be a fucking bitch! Fucking hell, come on, you can fucking do it, Jimmy. You all did it before in the past. Well, tell me you're a fucking bitch after all that. But all you fucking bitch, that's all I can fucking do. You could do better. Fire the bat! You gotta just chase your fucking foot. Foot. Almost, that's progress. This is carpeted. I can chill out. It's fucking carpeted. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt like fucking stones. It's not gonna hurt like stones. It's not gonna hurt like sand. You can fucking push in both of them, Jimmy. You can fucking do it. Chase your fucking foot, you pussy. Alright. You need to catch that fuck it. Audience, I'm going to give it a good few more tries. I might be too drunk. My apologies. I don't know the beginnings of even how to attempt a backflip. And because genetically I'm guaranteed a bad back, I hope you can understand.
Red alert. Red alert. Red alert.
God damn it!
There's a gay guy. Gay guy alert. Gay guy alert. Red alert. Gay guy alert.
Fucking work, you piece of shit!
Red alert. Warning. Nothing. You got a gay guy. This is the gay guy right here. Warning. Warning. Red alert. Red alert. Red alert.
Shit,
There's a gay guy.
What?
Warning.
Fucking
Gay guy.
bastard, you work for me.
Alert.
Sorry, audience, hang on, I'm just forcing my leg to fucking work for me.
Put your head in the tank, J.
Okay, well that's easy. That's easy. Why didn't you fucking ask me that before?
J. Do a front flip if you're straight.
Yeah, listen, I'm trying to do a front fucking flip.
JC, how does this make you feel? With Jimmy doing his thing next to you.
JC. Oh, hi JC. Hi JC. Yuck.
I think that was when I was like, okay, yeah, this guy's pretty cool. I like this. This is fucking hilarious.
So I was gonna say, so the reason actually why, especially now, why I talk so much is because I'm not a native to New England. I am from Pennsylvania, and I have like jack shit for friends here in New England.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the Utah incident, I am used to being alone now. But the reason why I was talking so much was mainly because it's like, holy shit, there are people for me to actually fucking talk to. And on top of which, like no cell phone, no video games, no music, no nothing. So you have to fill the silence with something.
Yeah. No, I totally get that, man. Like in the early days, at least, like a lot of people were pretty hesitant to be talking about their personal life or to be talking about really anything, especially when they thought all of them were the infiltrator or whatever. Like you could tell, like, and like people in chat knew, like before you guys like revealed it, that probably all of you were fans, right? Like, because like everyone had kind of let things slip, like from literally from the first few moments of being in the house, like almost everyone had let something slip, and like there's always like the delusional fans that were like saying like, oh, I know the infiltrator's this person or that person, but like I think people that were watching as closely as like myself and stuff, like were pretty, like it was pretty obvious that for you and like for Cole and Summer and Brian, that you guys were obviously fans, like from before it got revealed to everyone.
Well, I was just gonna ask, what was everyone's reaction? Because I had a lot of fun getting into like the Columbo mode character. But what was everyone's reaction to when like I first got into that? I'm just genuinely curious. When I said I went Columbo mode and I started by asking Shinji and Brian like how they would feel if someone came up to them and said that they were a real fucking Simmons. And then I
Yeah.
kept saying, I think everyone in this house is Squidward's. Like, what was the audience reaction to that, out of curiosity?
Well,
Oh yeah, so when I said everyone in this house is a Squidward, that's the opposite day episode of SpongeBob, where the realtor comes to try and sell Squidward's house, and at the end, before she storms out, she goes, "You're Squidward? He's Squidward? He's Squidward? Is there anyone in this house who's not a Squidward?" And then Gary shows up, and he's Squidward now too. That's where that comes from.
What kind of fool do you take me for? He's Squidward, he's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward! Are there any other Squidwards I should know about? Meow. I'm out of here.
I didn't get the reference at the time, but I knew just from the way you're speaking that you knew what was up. And like before that, I already knew that you were a fan. So I knew what you were referring to in that sense. I didn't know like the exact reference to SpongeBob, but I knew that you were a fan, like I think on day 2, because someone had given you a piece of paper that said World Peace 2 on the back, and you were like, "Oh, so there will be a second one." And then you're like, "Once world peace is achieved," or something like that, like kind of saving yourself, right? And like, so I was like, "Oh yeah, this is like really obvious that he just telegraphed this." And I think it was a smart play on your point too, like of trying to like root out like who else was, like, a fan in the house. Like a lot of people like on like the TV thread and stuff on 4chan like knew that this was going to kind of be the outcome, that everyone was going to be a fan like before the show even started, right? And especially like with like that Frank guy getting kicked the day before the show, like when they leaked like everyone's pictures, it was like obvious that everyone was going to be a fan if that guy got through, right? So I kind of knew from day one. I was saying, this person's a fan, that person's a fan, and like calling out slip ups like that. So I think when you were doing that Squidward thing, the people that were like most in denial about that, like were freaking out in the chat. Like they were like, "No, like there's no fucking way." People like myself were, kind of gloating in the chat, being like, "We fucking told you guys, like it was obvious." And we liked it until everyone started doing the bits. Like once it got to the point where like everyone was like rejoicing and having so much fun and like going over like every fucking MDE bit that they knew for like a couple hours, like so many people like actually were getting pissed. Like when Jet came up and was like, "You guys need to go to bed because this is gay and cringe," that was the general sentiment in chat.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I mean, I hope you understand where me, I just want to get it over and done with. Some people do misreport on it, so it was my intention to get essentially everyone but Cole and JC to like know that everyone else was a fan, just because I didn't really like Cole and JC at the time.
Yeah.
JC I saw as like the #1 threat from day one, because I was like, all she has to do is get someone drunk and ask for a cigarette and a drink, and she can get someone instantly eliminated for like corrupting a minor because she's not 21. So I wanted everyone to know, just so everyone could stop being on fucking edge and we could like actually have just some fun, even if it's just like a short bit of time. And for the next few days we did. Like there's no more like that tension or whatnot,
Yeah, but I think that's why people got mad, was because tension was just building, the bits were just being like fleshed out, and then everything got derailed by it. From a fan perspective, like from being in the house, I totally understand like where you're coming from, and it makes sense, and it's arguably like a smart move on your part. But like as someone watching, it was like so many people were like, "This fucking season's over, this sucks, blah blah blah," right? And I feel like production like was taken out at the knees a little bit with that. with how quick that
But
reveal happened.
but it's also like, again, they could have just dragged me down to the basement any time, and it's like it's pretty clear from like the first few days that we're going to follow their orders, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like we're there to like do what we're told. So if they had just brought me down and said, "Okay, listen, you figured it out, shut the fuck up, like keep this shit quiet, never mention it again, just play along," like there's just one fan in the fucking tank, and I would have fucking done that in a heartbeat, you know?
See, the thing,
So,
the one thing
like,
about it
yeah.
that I felt like was a missed opportunity for any of the fish was if one person had just like completely denied for the entire time that they knew about it, but they obviously did know about it and like signaled to the crowd and to you guys that they knew about it, but like we're just adamantly like, no, I don't fucking know about this, and like refuse to like call Sam or like to fucking say any MDE like bits like overtly. I feel like that would be like a funny bit to like keep going, right? And like to have production play
Oh
into
yeah.
it and stuff. Like I feel like that was like the big like missed opportunity there. But
That's
yeah,
a
like
good
I
point.
said, like from someone obviously who's in the house and dealing with like that initial stress of the first few days and like the looming elimination of like finding the infiltrator, I totally get like that was like the right chess move to make it, so to speak.
I will say, just for clarification, because Sam and Jet didn't know this. So I know about MDE. Due to lack of time and money, I never got to watch MDE. I honestly
Hmm.
had no clues for free on YouTube. So I know Sam Hyde through just memes and shitposts, essentially. I didn't really know too much about him. And I would kind of just follow him for, like, basic red pills on, just, like, political events and, like, fucking Hollywood secrets and shit, and just, like, other shit like that. But
Yeah.
it's more accurate to call me a Fishtank fan. I went
Yeah.
in there as a fan of Fishtank Season 1, and not as a fan of MDE. I do just want to point that out there. That's why, I mean, I think you might have seen me maybe quote like one or two MDE scripts, but that's because that's literally all I know. And
Yeah.
I just know his name because it's like everyone keeps saying that he's like whatever mass shooting happens, they keep saying he's the perpetrator, and there's always one news agency that thinks it's the fucking truth.
There is like this kind of like I would say probably like 20-25% of like the fan base of the show just based on like the comments and shit that I see on my channel and like on like the threads and stuff like that believe that like the only true fans of the show are like hardcore like old like MDE fans and stuff, but it's like dude, like Sam's had like such an illustrious career and like Fish Tank has
Yeah.
also been like so fucking viral that like to be like, oh, you're only a fan if you watched fucking MDE and like fucking World Peace when it was on TV. Like it's just like in my opinion, it's insulting to Sam in a way.
No, it's just a pissing competition, and it's stupid.
Yeah, no doubt. And like to think like that Jet and Sam want to do like 10 seasons of this show and eventually sell it for over 37 million so they can make money back for investors, that like somehow that's going to be viable only catering to, you know, 2010s MDE fans. It's just like kind of delusional. I don't know if you've seen the interview with Jet like about season 1, but he basically says like the concept of Fish Tank like was Sam's original concept was Hell House, where they would get like a bunch of MDE fans in a house and fucking torture the shit out of them.
What exactly was the brainstorming and concept behind Fish Tank? When did that come about?
Very early on when I first came to Rhode Island, started working for Sam Hyde. I remember pretty distinctly we were driving around in his truck, and he was talking about ideas that were kind of on the shelf that weren't being touched yet. One of them was a sketch called Hell House, where it was a comedy sketch where it was like a fake reality show that he was running, where he basically got MDE fans to be in a house, and he would just torture them. So it would be like a sketch. It wouldn't be. I don't think it was ever going to be an actual show, but it was going to be a sketch. It's like a thought experiment. If I had my own reality show, it would be total torture. So, but that stuck in my head, and I always liked that idea. Hell House. Hell House is like There's a lot of potential there. It'd be funny to actually do a reality show.
And then Jet like came up with the idea for Fishtank, ran with it, fucking like Sam backed him or whatever, and then that's how season 1 came. And so like the way I kind of see these 2 seasons is like the first season was like Jet's vision for, you know, the show, and like this season was more true to like Sam's true vision of the show.
So if you remember before the show started, Sam did say that that season 3 they did want like it to be more so like a funhouse type deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is fair to say that people didn't really like the whole Hell House aspect when it was really tested out this season.
The flip-flopping was what pissed people off the most, I think. Like flipping back and forth between Hell House and Friend House, and like like no one really knowing like where it was gonna be. Like if it was like straight up Friend House from the beginning, like it would be understandable. If it was straight up Hell House from the beginning, it'd be understandable. But like,
I mean, also like, at the same time, it's like they had a good thing in for like the first season where it's like it starts out fine and it slowly but surely genuinely gets tougher and tougher.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, who do you target? Well, you target the weak and the boring because, like, no offense to Letty, I'm honest to God a fan of every fish except for Simon from season 1, but it's like she was boring at first. What'd they do? They put her under a lot of pressure, and she evolved into something funny and a tyrant. But it was fucking entertaining, you know. It's like you do that shit. Like you don't boost the boring and shit like that, and. Again, it's like, I don't know about you, but I certainly, me and a lot of others certainly realize that, like, the only criticism is, like, when it's a lot of forced degeneracy, that's when it becomes, like, too painful to fucking watch, and it's like, you gotta have, like, that balance, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, Sam Hyde's like a breath of fresh air, and it's like, if I want degeneracy like that, I'll go to Netflix, and it's like, I don't have a Netflix subscription for a reason, you know?
Well, like, what do you think was like the most like degenerate thing that you witnessed in the house?
Honestly, well, I mean, so the peppers and shit, that's not us overreacting. That did like actually void the fucking intestinal lining and just again making everyone fucking puke, like forcing everyone to fucking vomit. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like a live recording of 2 Girls, 1 Cup?
Oh, so like the bodily fluid shit.
Well, it was just more like too much too early on. You can milk so much more out of contestants and people in general by just gradually putting them through like the season 1, like again with like where it gradually gets tougher. Like that really brings out a lot in people, you know. Forget my ramblings. The one thing that still irks me is that I was like, oh tee-hee, yeah, we're gonna single Jimmy out, and then push him to the brink because we like to get him mad, and then it's like it actually happens, and then everyone wants to be like, oh, Jimmy, what the fuck, you're a legal liability. And it's like, bro, you're unironically defending not just Nifty, but like another self-admitted pedophile right here.
Yeah.
You want to talk about fucking legal liability, buddy? Jesus fuck. Another idea I was actually daydreaming, this probably won't happen, but all the Jimmy haters who say that like they could have handled the situation better, they all get called in, and it gets revealed that like out of a crowd of like 50, if not more of them, that only 1 or 2 of them is going to get picked for the show, and they immediately have to start eating raw jalapenos and fucking habaneros, and then have to rush to grab like a weapon like a paintball gun or some shit and go hide in the fucking woods and hunt each other until there's only 2 left. As like the whole time it's just filled with booby traps and all this shit to like fuck with them. And it's also like, oh yeah, by the way, if you get angry at all or say a single bad word, you're out. So it's like they have to do it with like a shit-eating grin the whole time. But that would just be me to just that's just me to like power trip a bit and be like, LOL, I thought you said you could handle it. I thought you said you could fucking handle it. Well, handle it.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that, and I'd be like in full blown like fucking crazed military general dictator uniform.
Yeah.
And there'd just be like cameras all over the woods, and it'd be like a good prequel to like get people hyped for season 3, because it's like, yeah, so at least 2 of the contestants are going to be Jimmy haters. Also, do forgive me, but I did just notice the time. It's 6:24 where I am. I do actually have to get going to run some errands before it gets too dark.
So, any last words, Jimmy?
Yeah, you're fat, brown, fat.
Silly Billy.
Yeah, you are kind of fat and brown, bro. You ain't lying.
Get the fuck out of here. Fucking fuck this piece of shit. Rubbly up dub looking ass.
I don't know, bro. But yeah, he's got a point.
Fuck.